In this video, we'll solve the coding question that came in Accenture coding rounds or online assessments. These questions were very easy. If you guys are preparing for TCS NQT as well, this question would be a cakewalk for you. And why I'm telling you is because from my series, the direct question came into this exam. I will tell you which question came directly from my video and from which video. For knowing that, please stay tuned with the video. And if you're new to this channel, I am Aditya Mishra and welcome back to the Prime Coding channel. If you are preparing for off-campus placement, on-campus placement or any of the coding interviews or coding questions, this place is for you. I put the content which can help you in your preparation. So let's move and solve this question. So this question states Floyd's triangle pattern, and I would say the Accenture compiler is pretty good as compared to the TCS NQT, as I've take the survey over the students that they appear for this exam, and everything is given particularly clearly into the question itself, so there is no worry about the inputs and outputs. But still, if you don't know how to take inputs, I have created a dedicated video. If you are facing some errors while taking input, just have a look over it. Fine. So in this question, it is given that you need to print Floyd's triangle pattern. Great. So I have written this question in only few lines. The question was pretty big, but I have written in a small so that it won't take much time. So n equivalent to 4. These type of question is generally, you can see there is a pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how you can solve it? Before solving it, I will tell you how you can think of the approach. Let me write this again. 9 and 10. Great. So for this question, just divide it into a particular columns and rows so that you can visualize what is currently happening in it. As you can see, at the very first, what you need, you directly printed the num. So I would say, okay, I will initialize num and I will put it initialize at 1 as a 1. Great. So in the first case, it needs directly to be printed. Okay, great. I have printed my num. Now in the second row, which means if you talked in zero based indexing, which means you need to print in the second row, you need to print the incremented value of the above row. Fine. So incremented, you just need to increment it. Okay. After printing it, I will increment my num plus equals to 1. And how many elements per row we need to print? This is the third question you might be thinking of. So as per the rows, you see, we are on the 0 row, we need to print only 1 time. We are on the first row, we need to print on 2 times. So this automatically means you need to take another loop which will go till row. From 0 till row, it will go and print the particular elements. And guys, boom, this is the only solution. And how we can, whatever I just spoke from my mouth, will write the same thing into the code. Let's see how. Great. As in this video, I will cover Python, C++ and Java code. If you want the code snippet, please head over the description. You will find a GitHub link there and you can have a look over the code snippets. So these problems can be solved in multiple ways. If you know some unique ways, please let me know in the comment. I would be very happy. And if you have any doubts, you can put it into your comment. I would respond you back. So print a pattern I have did. I will took the input and I will call this function so that it will be the pattern would be start printing. So as I've told, firstly I will initialize my num as 1. Now I will start a loop from 1 till the 4th loop. It will start from 1 till 4. It goes till 5 because, as you know, the for loop will exclude the last element. So eventually it will go from 1 to 4. Great. Now from j in range I, which means you need to know how many elements you need to print in a particular row. If it is a 0th row, you need to print only 1. So great. Now what I said will print directly. After that, we put the num plus 1 so that the next value will be incremented and it is follow further. Fine. Now you see this program is done and I will discuss the time complexity about that. Time complexity would be order of n square typically in the worst case because we are using 2 loops. Fine. And great. And the space complexity would be order of 1 because we are not taking any other space like arrays and all. So let's move to the C++ solution. As you can see, we have print pattern, great, void function, and we are calling it function from the main function. We are taking the n input, the number of rows we need to print, and we are calling the function. Fine. Now int I equivalent to 1 and I is less than equals to n, and I plus plus, the two for loop, same concept, printing the num, incrementing the num, and going to the next row or the next line. So if you don't write this line, every answer, every element will be printed in one line only. Fine. And similarly, the Java code also. Why I am teaching you 3 of the language? One reason is many of the people will not familiar with Python, C++, they might doing the code in Java or vice versa. But I would say if you are doing in Java also, please have a backup language with you. It might be you are not able to write what you are thinking. So in Python, if I tell you, if you are having a C++ and Java, both the language or one of the language you know, I will tell you put a Python with a backup language so that if the code is complex, in Python you can write it very easily. So yes, let's move to the Java code. Similarly, we have initialized the num, we'll start 2 loops and we'll print the num, increment the num and go to the next line. Fine. And initializing the scanner class, taking initializing our n, taking the value of n and calling the function. Great, it's over. Now let's see. Guys, as I am putting all the content which will help you in your interview preparations or the coding round preparation. This question was from the question bank of strings that I will upload the video on Sunday. So if you don't want to miss that, not only this question, I guess if you are preparing for TCS NQT or more slots of Accenture, if the string question comes into your exam, the question would be definitely from that video, because all the fundamental basics concept I'm gonna cover on that string video. So great, please subscribe the channel so that you won't miss it. So what the question asks us to find is, write a program to find the longest in a given list of strings. Bingo. So this question was also very big, but I have written in a smart way, small way or a smart way, so that we won't miss much time. So yes, no number, in that you need to return the largest word in a string or in a sentence. So in this case, the number is the largest length among compared to the other words. Fine. So you need to print the longest string is numbers. See the guys, the output format is like this only. It might be because I have saw few screenshots in that they are asking to print in this way. But if they are not asking to print in this way, you just need to print the string which has more, which is the largest word. Fine. Now, how you can do this? I would say you just like iterate over this, like first step would be iterate over the sentence. Great. And while you are iterating, just make a counter, like initialize the counter before that, like 0 step maxi, which will store the current length that we have seen so far. Great. So we'll like on the first point we are on the yes, and we'll store the length of it. Okay, the length of yes. We'll check if the yes length is greater than maxi. What I will do the answer, please store the yes. For now, yes is the biggest or the largest word we have seen so far, and increment our maxi to initialize our maxi, reinitialize our maxi to the length of yes, so that if any of the word which has more length than this yes, it would be saved and will store the answer also. Yes guys, this is the few lines of code that you need to write to solve this question, and you are good to go. As this question can be solved in many ways, you can use maps, you can use 2 for loops, anything, but I think this would be a very optimal approach. So if you know other approach, please shoot it into the comment so that the people can see your approach. Now let's move to the Python code. As you can see, I have initialized the get longest string, maxi, answer, fine, word in length, great. Now length of word I am taking it. What it will do is it will create a list in which the every element, like u will be stored like this, and or will be stored like this, and number will be stored like this in an array format. In Python, list is usually noted as array. So array format, great. And as I have told, I will initialize a maxi and answer to store the answer, and I will iterate over the list so that one by one this word will see. So firstly we'll see the u word, and I will check the len of word is greater than the maxi, which stores this longest element seen so far. So till now the word is 0, so it will be reinitialized to 3, and answer would be reinitialized to yes. Now as we moving forward, we'll see the number has 1 2 3 4 5 6 numbers, or 7 numbers. Then the maxi would be set as 7 and answer would be reset to number, and in the last we'll return it. So I think this code is also pretty straightforward and it is fixed into your mind. If you are having few issues, I will tell you to write it by yourself, do the dry run over this code. And the time complexity of this code is order of n, because you are traversing over whole array, fine. And space complexity would be order of n, because you are taking a list to do that. Let's move to the C++ solution. So in C++ solution, we have getLongestString, as we are creating a function to be called in the format of string, so that will return the string as this is a string return type function. So string s will get line because it may contain some space or it might contain some enters, so it can take any types of input, but you are open to take string or C in s, I would say, fine, and it will work fine. So getLongest will be called. String stream will do is you can able to parse over the string. How you can over the parse? So that it will easy to iterate over the string. Now string word is answer we have initialized as we need to store the answer, and maxi to maintain the max counter over the length. Yes. Now SS means until the SS means string stream has a character S, has a string input S. Until that it is not empty, the while loop will again and again run, and we'll check the word length is greater than maxi. Great. Store the answer into the word, and word dot length will reinitialize as maxi. Fine. And in the last we'll return the answer. Fine. Very easy question. Very easy approach in C++ also. And in Java you can see we have a string array. In that we are removing, let me zoom a bit, fine, okay, great. So we have again reinitialized a function, fine. So here is the function. Following with that we have an array words which will split the input by removing the space or any other this type of stuffs inside if it is there, and we are initializing the answer to show the answer, and maxi iterating over the loops and finding the largest word and storing it into the answer, returning it into the answer. That's it guys. Initializing the scanner as well as taking the input of scanner and calling the function, fine. And please make sure that guys, if you are giving space in the question, they are asking to give space or not, because this minute error can your program will not gonna submit in the exam. Great. And guys, now the thing is, 3rd May 2024 shift question was directly came from my all array pattern questions. It is a one-shot video of 2 hours. In that I have covered all array patterns, and the strange thing is in TCS NQT and many more on-campus placement, the question are coming from it, and it has much views also. So I would also recommend you, if you are preparing for any of the exams, please have a look, have one shot, and you are prepared for all the fundamental topics of these array. Not only fundamental, few are also medium types, and you are able to solve it and get it. Great guys. Let's see. This is a direct question from my particular one shot. So in this you need to find an equilibrium point, and this question I have written in a very short way. The main thing is you need to be very focused because it is a 1 based indexing. So you need to increment 1 because you are starting from 0 based indexing. As the constraint you can see guys, the constraint states the n will go up to 100 only. So you can write the order of n square solution and it will definitely accept it. But in this case, I won't write order of n the large time complexity answer. I would write order of n time complexity solution. So yes, what we'll do is we'll create a prefix. I have already been filled because it will take much time. So yes, you can see I have an array, input array here, -7, 2, 4, 9, -8, 1, 6. So what I will do, directly I will append the first element in the prefixed first location and the last element into the suffix last location. Fine. And as I am moving forward, I will calculate the sum of it. Like -7 plus 2 will give me -5, as I have wrote here. Now -5 plus 4 will give me -1. Similar to that, I will fill it, and the total sum would be 7. Great. And in the reverse order also, I will do the same. And wherever I got the same value, like at this location, I got the same value, which means we got our equilibrium point, and the sum of the left side and the sum of the right side are equivalent to each other. So as the question states, it's an 1 based indexing. You need to increment this 3 plus 1 and you need to return the answer. I hope this approach is very clear to you. If you don't, I have covered this question extensively in this one short video. You can watch it up. In that, I have explained the brute force as well as the optimal approach also in detail. Fine. Now let's move into here, like solve prefix suffix. Great. In that, I will initialize as 0 and fine. Now the first element would be fixed by the array's first element, and the last element would be fixed as array's last element. Fine. And will traverse over the array from front side, from the rear side, and will calculate the cumulative sum as we are going forward, and will store into the I. Great. Now similar with the reverse order also. And what I'm doing, I'm printing it for my sake. You don't print in the exam, it will show up error. Your code won't be submitted then. Now for I in range n, I will checking which location we have both the values same. So in this case, we have same at the third location. So yes, we are getting it. If I got, you need to do a modification. You just write +1 and your answer is, guys, over. And how you can take the input? Take n, take array, write this way, list map int input. You will able to take the input value as the space separated array values also, and you just need to call the function. If you have any issues with taking the input, I have created a video thoroughly and specifically to the taking input also, because the compiler might irritate you if you don't know the tricks to tweak your input statement, so that your compiler will gives you input and your code will take the input. Great. Now you see the same C++ code also, the C++ code, all the code snippet you will find in the description. So vector int pre and suff, and it will create an array with default values filled at 0. Pre 0 set it as the first element of the array, similar to the suff. Now is filling the pre array, filling the suff array from reverse and the front side or rear side. Great. Now starting a loop to check at which equilibrium point in the array where the sum of left and the sum of right is equivalent. If we got, we'll do I plus 1 and bingo, your solution is over. Now following with the Java solution, pretty similar. If you understand the C++, this is a very cakewalk for you. Initializing the pre-suffix array, in this case there's a pretty different way to initialize, and bingo guys, you are able to solve this question very easily. So on this channel, I usually, like, the future of this channel is I will put the interview contents, like how the people crack the interviews of Accenture, TCS, Capgemini and many more. It's following with that the tips and tricks and resources. Just have a look over the channel. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel. It will help you in your ongoing preparation. So all the best guys, we'll meet you with a new video soon.